Now we're going to get a look at the weather, and the UK Health Security Agency has issued a heat health alert for this Friday and Saturday, covering much of the Midlands and southern England. Helen Willits is here with the forecast, and Helen, it's going to get even hotter.
It is our first hot spell of the summer, Ben, which obviously for some is going to be very uncomfortable, as it gets really uncomfortable by night as well, Friday night in particular. And we're tapping into some of the heat across France, which is looking set to have its earliest heat wave on record. Temperatures up into the high 30s here, and we will, as I say, tap into some of that heat, pull it in across England and Wales. Temperatures already 25 today. Friday looks like the peak in the heat, but it won't be for all parts of the UK. Scotland, Northern Ireland will stay closer to average, with outbreaks of rain at times, particularly in the north and the west. And so it is hot out there. We once again do have some very high levels of grass pollen. And because we're not many days away from the peak of the sun in the sky, we've got some very high levels of UV as well. We don't see that often here in the UK. But as ever, when you've got that much energy in the atmosphere, often culminates in some torrential downpours, which is what we're likely to see towards the weekend, Ben.
All right, Ellen, thank you so much.
Good afternoon. It's starting to feel very warm, and the temperature is set to get warmer by the end of the week. High pressure is in charge. It's dragging in this warmer air from the continent. Now, we've already seen quite a bit of sunshine today. This is from weatherwatcher Maya down in Southwark earlier on this morning. Blue sky and sunshine and great conditions if you're hanging out on the river today. This is in Teddington from weatherwatcher John. Again, more sunshine. Now, looking at the satellite picture through this morning, you can see down in the southeast there's not a lot of cloud to speak of at all.
Now, if you were feeling the heat earlier, that is because today has been the hottest day of the year so far at Heathrow. The tarmac reached 27.8 degrees Celsius, beating 27.5 back in May. Sally is at Tooting Bec Lido, a prime spot for cooling off in the hot weather, which, Sally, we're going to be getting more of.
We are. Do you know what? It even got up to, we've just heard, 28.2 degrees at Kew Gun. So yes, the hottest day of the year, and it's going to get up into the low 30s on Friday. So mind that midday sun. Now, we should probably deal with the elephant in the room, which is the whole swimsuit thing, because the idea is that I'm going to do the weather in the Lido. It is unheated, and earlier I spoke to some children who were just kind of getting my head around just how cold it might be. Let's take a listen.
It actually wasn't that cold because it's really sunny though. Yeah.
But I was shivering in there a bit.
Hang on, you're saying it's cold, you're saying it's not cold. What's the truth, lads?
It's fine, it's fine. You just get used to it.
If I go in, do you think I will scream?
Yeah. Really? How loud?
Very loud. And do I get a chip if I go in?
Brilliant! I'm going in. Right, well, with me now, I'm looking forward to that chip, by the way, is Karen, who's the manager. Now, Karen, tell me, what's it like now compared to when you opened back in April?
So when we opened in April, we had snow to open with, and now in June we've got this glorious sunshine.
And what's the temperature difference between now and April?
So in April, when we opened, the pool temperature was 10 degrees, and we're 10 degrees, and we're now looking at 19.5 degrees.
Wow, and listen, I've heard that there's been some closures of chlorine factories. Is there a shortage? Are you guys going to be all right?
So we're doing our regular daily checks on site to ensure that our chemical levels are okay, and we're in constant communication with our suppliers to ensure that we don't run short and ensure that people come in and enjoy the swimming.
So fingers crossed you'll stay open?
Yes, we will ensure that we do.
And how much busier are you now compared to before the pandemic, or are you quieter?
So we've introduced booking sessions after COVID. Pre-COVID it was a free-for-all, and we've now seen a double increase of the participants coming along swimming.
Wow, it's doubled. Well, look, you can see there's loads of people having a good time now. Right, I think the moment's come. I really need to get in this water, don't I? Oh my goodness. Look, I don't really need to put any of you through this. So, Gemma, you throw over there. I'm sure there's something interesting, like a nice bird over there or something. Can we get my kiss off? Oh my goodness. I'm not in yet. I'm not in yet. I'm not. Oh! 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 Oh, Gemma, I'm in! Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to go low. Did you get the message? It's not very warm. Let's get this over and done with. I think this little birdie has the right idea. Plenty of fluids over the next few days. Things are getting hotter, as you know. We've got some nice sunshine around, also some cloud in the sky at times, and very high levels of pollen and UV. Now, as we go into Friday, that's the big one, up into the low 30s, again, depending on how much cloud is around. Going to be a bit more overcast at times on Saturday, and just cooling down a touch, but we'll probably still hold on to that heat, and then a bit more uncertain into Sunday. We'll keep you posted. That's the weather. Here's the pollen. I'm afraid that heat really sparks off that pollen, so very high levels over the next few days of grass and nettle pollen. Good luck with that. Right, I'm going down. I'll leave you. Take care. Cheerio. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Thomas, not flooding, but very high temperatures.
Yeah, pretty extreme temperatures across western parts of Europe this early in the summer. So you can see in excess of 40 degrees Celsius in Spain tomorrow. Not that unusual, of course, in the summer for Spain, but we are quite early in the season. And this heat is actually going to be wafting up across France and then to the UK over the next couple of days or so. So we'll see temperatures probably peaking at around 33 or 4 degrees in the south of the country. And then during the course of Thursday night into Friday, we'll see this weather front approaching the northwest of the UK. This is the cooler air in the Atlantic that's ready to come our way. And you can see this much fresher Atlantic air here ahead of a cold front, and then that heat coming in from the south across parts of England. So not everybody's going to get the heat. It's going to be a brief spell, a hot spell if you like, but probably technically just reaching heatwave criteria, for example, in the southeast, 33 or 34 degrees, but for many other parts of the country, nowhere near as hot. And of course, not many of us actually do like extreme temperatures. And then, surprise, surprise, if you've got any plans for the weekend, well, it does look as though it's all going to go bang. I mean, some of that energy has to go somewhere, Risa.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Thomas.
Now, the next few days are set to be scorchers, with temperatures predicted to reach as high as 33 degrees in parts of the capital. And our reporter Nadia Jani is out in the sunshine in Regents Park for us this evening and can tell us more. Nadia.
Hi Alice, yes, it's been such a lovely sunny day and it's predicted to get a whole lot hotter. In some places it's already reached 27 degrees. Recent temperature predictions say that over the next few days in certain parts of southeast that it's going to be warmer than Jamaica, Portugal, Cyprus and Costa Rica. Now charities are warning those with pets to be extra careful because of the heat affecting animals, and the RSPCA are urging dog owners to be aware of the dangers walking their pets, especially those with thick fur and underlying health conditions. Now the Met Office and the UK Health Security Agency have issued 2 heat weather warnings, and earlier today I was speaking to one of our BBC weather reporters about it.
So Helen, why is it so hot?
It's certainly too hot for me, Nadia. It's coming from Europe. We've had a lot of heat across Iberia for the past week, temperatures in excess of 40 degrees at times. Now that's spread its way further northwards, and that's the heat that we're going to tap into over the next couple of days. So you can see that warmth there to the south of us. It's pushing its way northwards, so gradually temperatures will rise a couple of degrees each day, and then they won't fall as low overnight. So we're going to get to the stage where it's really uncomfortably hot Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Well, let's get a check on the weather now with Thomas Schaffenacker. Perfect weather for alfresco dining.
Yes, and you know what? I dread to think what's going to happen Friday night when it's 34 degrees in London and people go out after work. Oh my goodness. Yeah, perfect for eating and everything else. It's about as hot as it gets this time of the year, this early in the summer. Now, I want to remind you the pollen levels are still very high. They have been high for days. That's not going to change. And also the UV levels will be high. Not the highest they can be, but certainly more than enough for you to burn if you don't protect yourself from that sunshine. Now, watch the colours. We're flooding the southeast with oranges and then these reds. And we're going to get up to 28. Now, we got 28 today. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually reach 30 tomorrow, pushing 30, 29, 30 degrees, that sort of thing. So, a very, very warm evening on the way tomorrow. And then the peak of the heat is actually going to come on Friday. And yes, for us in the southeast, it's a heat wave, at least 3 days of above or 28 and above. And look at that, we flooded the southeast with this deep red now, 33 or even 34. The record for June, not for the summer as a whole, but for June, is about 35 and a bit. And then, of course, lightning flashes here. So it's all going to go bang. We think the storms, that may not necessarily be picked up by the icons here, but we think somewhere around here, Saturday into Sunday, we'll see some storms. So a short-lived heat wave, Alice.
We've been warned. Thomas, thank you.
Now, fresh health warnings were issued today as parts of the country prepare to swelter in 34-degree heat. Authorities issued a level 3 heat health alert for London, the east of England and the southeast as temperatures build towards a peak on Friday. Well, today was the hottest day of the year so far, and plenty of people have been out enjoying the sunshine, including Rupert Evelyn in Bournemouth, no less. And we're trying not to get too envious here in the office, Rupert, but it has been a glorious day there, hasn't it?
I admit it, Mary, we have enjoyed it, but we have been working too. Britain is basking in a heat wave. Bournemouth has been basking in it today. Certainly very warm indeed, and much here to be enjoyed. But as you've already mentioned, there are warnings to go with heat waves as well. Sweltering under the heat of the sun. Yes, it's summer and to be expected occasionally, but for all the pleasure it brings, looks can be deceiving. There may be 15 miles of blissful and blisteringly hot beach here in Bournemouth, but the water is cold and not to be messed with.
The water temperature is still extremely cold, particularly for those people that aren't experienced in open water. So what we'd encourage people to do is acclimatise slowly, ideally wear a wetsuit.
Exposed to the elements, there's always a need to keep cool. Seaside food is one way. Searching out some shade amongst the light, another. Covering up offers protection too. The heat is not for everyone. For those who feel it, like the elderly, there's some healthy advice.
Now's the time to check in on those older people in the community, whether you're your neighbours, your friends. We've all been out having these lovely street parties celebrating the Jubilee, so let's keep those connections going and really check in on everyone.
Thousands will be drawn to beaches. Everyone has their own way of dealing with the sun. Why have you headed here?
Just because it's summer. I'm finished for study, so I'm just out here getting a tan.
Careful about that sort of stuff?
I am today, but I haven't been in the past.
Why is that? Have you learned a lesson somewhere along the line?
Yeah, it's more just forgetting to put sun cream on than anything.
How do you cope with it?
I take it as it comes. I love it.
You love it?
I do, really, but she doesn't.
Of course, Britain's resorts will be hoping to capitalise. There's business to be had in a heat wave.
The great thing about the resorts that we've got in the UK is that we're easy to get to. When the weather's good, why would you rather be anywhere else? We've got so much to offer, more than a day trip, so we'd urge people to come, stay and enjoy the sun. Many
are used to nature's playground. For some, it may be a new experience, as another generation learns to bask in a brief British hot spell. Rupert Evelyn, ITV News, Bournemouth.
We get more on the hot weather from Alex, who's at Hampton Court Palace. Alex, are these temperatures much higher than we're used to at this time of year?
Well, Mary, evidently they are not out of the question, but when you take a look back at the stats for June, you have to say it is fairly unusual. It has been hot in June before. We can say that we've had 34 degrees Celsius back in June 2019, and then as a whole it's only ever reached 34 degrees or hotter 5 times since 1961. And on Friday, well, it could be the 6th time. Let's take a look now how that is likely to happen. As we've been talking about over the last few days, we've got this day-on-day heating, which is down to the high pressure building over the UK. But as we head towards Friday, we're going to get this blast of very hot air coming up from Spain. That's when temperatures are likely to reach 34 degrees Celsius. They do start to slip away as we head into Saturday. 32 degrees would be the high, and then 25 by the time we get to Sunday. And of course, most of this heat is in the southeast, but I think on Friday we could see temperatures touching 30 degrees as far north as Middlesbrough. So quite a hot day, not to look forward to for many. As you know, those heat health warnings are very much in place. So the advice, if you're in a vulnerable category in particular, would be to not go out in the midday heat, stay hydrated, and of course, use lots of sun cream.
Now, as we saw earlier in the programme, many of you will have experienced, I think it's been a really glorious day for much of the country. So let's get back to Alex at Hampton Court Palace, where the annual music festival is taking place. And it looks like the perfect evening for it, Alex.
Oh, Mary, I wish you could join me here. Yes, it is pretty much picture perfect here at Hampton Court Palace. As you can see, lots of people around me having a picnic. This is really just the starter. The main event this evening is going to be McFly performing. This festival actually started on the 9th of June. It goes all the way through into the 25th. On Saturday, we've got Ministry of Sound Classical. And on an evening like this, well, everything is really coming together. It's going to be quite a cosy performance. Just over 3,000 people inside here at the moment. There's a bit of a breeze picking up, and that will be welcome for many. In fact, for many people, particularly if you do have a health condition, this is actually the best time of day to come out and enjoy. You've still got sunshine for the next couple of hours or so, and it is starting to feel cooler and a lot more bearable. But as you know, yes, the headline temperature for Friday is a blistering 34 degrees in June. Well, I think it's important to say that it won't be everywhere that gets heat wave conditions as we head through the next few days. Certainly up towards the northwest, it is going to be somewhat cooler with some outbreaks of rain. But as you come further south, we will start to pick up those hotter conditions with temperatures way above average for the time of year. In fact, let's take a look at that air mass chart that I showed a little early in the programme. But if you just walk through the door and you're seeing this now, you'll notice those temperatures peaking as we head towards Friday. 34 degrees Celsius. They slip down to 32 on Saturday, 25 by Sunday, and that's in the south. Well, Mary, understandably, on an evening like this, I think I'm going to stick around.
All right, Alex at Hampton Court Palace, thank you.